Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, we've got SirHamer playing the Tier 6 Royal Navy Light Cruiser Leander. Now, the Leander is, well, I really like the ship actually. It's not what I would call a super ship or anything like that, but it does have an excellent tool belt full of tools that an experienced player in particular can really make good use of. Let me go in here and address this UI bug that was introduced with update 0.10.5, where these will not stay set for replays. So you can have the information they provide. So what are we looking at here? Well, we're looking at a ranked game. This is an Epicenter game, which is, back when they introduced the Epicenter game mode, it made sense. Because at the time, the goal with the Epicenter map or game type was to encourage ships to get closer. We were moving toward a more and more sit behind islands and spam long range kind of meta. And so anyway, Wargaming rolled out Epicenter game mode in order to facilitate ships getting closer. That was the whole idea behind it. But then Wargaming kind of changed directions and decided, you know what? We're going to start promoting a different type of gameplay. Let's just put it that way. I'll elaborate on that a little bit. At one point, there was a ship called the Belfast that was introduced to the game. I have the ship. It's super fun to play, although I feel a little bit dirty when I play it because it does feel like cheating. It had smoke and HE and the ability to catch DDs out, and it was an overpowered ship, and they removed it from the game. And they said, we want to move away from cruisers that have smoke and the ability to flap destroyers up close, or just sit in smoke and spam HE. And then they started introducing ship after ship after ship after ship after ship that had smoke and could spam. So at this point, I guess what I'm saying is this game mode that they introduced to encourage players to get closer really doesn't make sense given where they took the game, and is for most players just a frustrating experience, especially for DD players. Because at the time they rolled this out, we were still in the RTS style of CVs, which meant there were not too many CVs being played. And there was also not what I call a proliferation of long-range Russian radar. And all of that combined equals this Epicenter mode not really fitting in very well anymore. So, as I mentioned, a lot of tools. You can see we've got torpedoes. They can be fired single fire. They don't have to all be launched at once, although that was done here. That Icarus he's living dangerously. Still plenty of time left on the smoke. Kind of a blind fire there into the smoke. Might catch him. It does, but it's not quite enough. But this next volley will do it. Now, does Icarus have torpedoes again? I might have waited until I was clear of the smoke. But either way, SirHamer finishes off the Icarus. Nice shot. Arizona's trying to use his anti-submarine aircraft on the U-69. I don't know that I'll ever get used to saying that. Now, that's a great example of the Achilles heel of all these Royal Navy Light Cruisers. They have just enough armor to arm AP, but not enough to really protect you from anything. And as a result, they can be citadeled by battleships at pretty much any angle. And Mutsu hits particularly hard. But fortunately, Mutsu is not very accurate. Smokes back up. And SirHamer makes good use of that right away. And presumably, Mutsu will find a different place to put his guns. New Mexico is inching forward. And we'll see whether New Mexico positions himself to eat a face full of torpedoes. He might. Arizona and New Mexico using their anti-submarine aircraft now. And you can see SirHamer is imploring Andrea Doria, New Mexico, and Mutsu on his team to move up and engage. 46 seconds left on the smoke. I think that's probably going to be plenty. And Fubuki is smoking again, so even when this smoke runs out, SirHamer will still have some smoke. Now he's going to go single fire. I think I probably would. Well, he'll land at least one here. When that ship gets to 2 clicks, oh, that looks really good. That's going to be 3 hits. And he finishes off the New Mexico. Well done. Hydro's up to avoid eating torpedoes. And heads out. I'm guessing to get some barrels in the water, trying to finish out this U-69. Fubuki's got depth charges down. SirHamer's got depth charges that are going to go down here any second. Yep, you can see he's dropping them now. U-69 takes a hit, a second hit, a third hit. All right, 4 hits from SirHamer. Nicely done. I myself, I just despise the way that they've implemented. I mean, I think we're probably going to see something like we saw with the CB rework, where they're going to say, okay, man, we've tested this thing like crazy, which they really haven't. And we think it's ready for the live server, which it's not. And they're going to probably roll it out kind of more or less as is. And then we'll spend 9 months to a year with them tweaking it. I don't know how you could not do that unless they want to spend 2 years on test servers, which they're just not going to do. But as it stands right now, I mean, you sail over a submarine and you push the G key, and other than maneuvering to try to, get the maneuvering to try to get the barrels to drop kind of more or less right on top of it, there's not really any. I don't consider it counterplay. You're not targeting anything. You're just kind of. It's just entirely RNG related, dependent. And I know that begs the question of, well, what are you trying to suggest here, Ronan? Are you saying that maybe there should be electronic countermeasures and electronic countermeasures as a way for subs to have counterplay versus those things, for cruisers and battleships to have counterplay against the... Yeah, maybe. But I don't think there's a chance in the world that Wargaming is going to do that. They've spent the better part of the last 3 years dumbing down the game, at least in my opinion. Adding more complexity is probably not a part of their game plan. And Arizona is about to be sunk, maybe with this volley, but if not, the next. That should do it. Nicely done. Okay, so SirHamer picks up kill number 4 and puts shots out on Pensacola out there. Now the bad guys have been kind of staying in this game on the back of having these caps, but that's not going to stay the case for very much longer. So good guys still have 5 ships. Bad guys are down to 3. Enemy Mutsu, you can see him way out there at the kind of the bottom corner of the map there. He's just nose to nose with the Vesa. He's trying to finish off the friendly CV. SirHamer picks up high caliber. There may be another reward or 2 in his future. We'll see. If he gets one more, he's going to pick up a Quaken. Pensacola's really just kind of looks like he's decided he's had enough and wants to just get to the next game. We'll see. And SirHamer has to be careful here because the Pensacola shells, for the tier, those are some very, very powerful cruiser shells, and the AP on that thing would just wreck a Leander. SirHamer can pick up a little bit more XP by scooching inside this cap here just before it gets flipped over. And securing this cap probably secures the game for the good guys. We've got over 8 minutes remaining. And although they've lost their CV, they've still got 2 battleships, and they've got Pensacola in the crosshairs, just kind of dead center between the battleships. SirHamer puts out a long-range shot. And he does Citadel the Pensa, who's sitting broadside. I'm going to inch forward just a bit if you can here to avoid this torpedo. One more like that is probably all it will take. He loses his spotting, and Mutsu takes out the Pensacola. Well, robbed of a Quaken, but there are still 2 red ships out there. And it looks like the enemy CV is going to be focusing on the friendly Mutsu. I'm not sure I understand that. Mutsu is the battleship with the most HP, but I have to presume that that player had some reason for it. It may just be that for the tier, New Mexico has decent AA. And the enemy CV may be running really low on aircraft at this point. Either way, that's the game. I don't really see any way for the bad guys to make a comeback here. There's still the possibility of a Quaken. Maybe SirHamer catches the Mutsu at the corner. Although this could finish him right here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.